into bye week, some things just to fill you all in on what the plan is moving forward. We started game prepping for Maryland yesterday. We all know how important the Maryland game is. Every game is important. This one we know is pretty important. I've been fortunate to go against them, going on my 5th year now. So know what this game means to our team and our school and our fan base. Same thing for them. Fortunately for us, we get 2 weeks to deal with it, where they only get 1 week to deal with it. But such is the schedule. We're going to be on the flip side of that 2 weeks from now, and Oklahoma has a game, a bye week when we're playing Maryland, so it all evens out in the end. But we started game prepping for them yesterday, and we'll focus on those guys pretty exclusively here Tuesday, today, and tomorrow to get a week ahead. Thursday we'll have a big team lift and get after them a good bit in the weight room and condition them a good bit. And Friday and Saturday we'll give them 2 days off to just be normal. You don't have too many opportunities to be able to do that when you're in the weekly grind of game week. So we have an opportunity to be able to do it. This is really our only traditional bye week. The next one is sandwiched in with the Thursday game at TCU, so it's going to be a little bit different structure when it comes to that week. So let them get away, and our coaches need to get out on the road and recruit. We'll send coaches all over the country. There's 10 of us going out. Myself and the other 9 will be out and about, seeing as many games as we possibly can on Thursday and Friday, and seeing as many coaches as we can on Thursday and Friday. We'll be back to work on Sunday. We'll be back in here Sunday for a normal Sunday and game week after that. So, yes, we've watched Maryland and we've started focusing on them a little bit. But with that said, there's no game here this week. So we'll focus on ourselves and getting healthy. Ideally, I'd like about 4 games prior to a bye week. But again, there's nothing we can do about the schedule. So we should be in a good place when we go play Maryland, when they come play here a week from this Saturday. So that's kind of where we're at. I've opened it up for some questions, if y'all have it.
Dan, 2 games into this, good or bad, what do you know that you didn't know 2 weeks ago?
I think you will constantly keep figuring out things about your team. It's not just week 1 to week 2. It's you're going to find out some things about how guys developed in week 10 and week 11 probably as well. So I'm happy with where we're at. We know we're going to be pretty good defensively. A lot's been made of not living up to the expectations that we put upon ourselves defensively, and that's what I told the team. I'm not disappointed in our defense whatsoever. I'm just reminding them that they're the ones that set the bar pretty high, and so that's how we need to play. That's how we need to prepare. That's how we need to play defensively. Is good, better than we played, based on the fact that we've done it before, based on the fact that we as coaches and we as players have set the bar pretty high. So offensively, we just need to keep getting better, and I do think we made improvement this past week. I think we did in the run game, and I think we did in the pass game. So we're still doing some things right. We did a much better job of finishing on offense. Our third down was a lot higher. Our red zone was perfect. So we did a much better job of finishing, and we continue to do a good job of taking the ball. Special teams, happy with where we're at there. Our coverage units have been good. Our specialists have been outstanding with Nick and with Josh, doing the job that they did. The return aspect of it, we know needs to continue to evolve and get better, but I think we're all happy with where we're at from that point of view as well. I want to make reference to Nick Meadows going in there and being about as nervous of a kid as as I've seen in quite some time in pregame, getting out there, having his opportunity to play for the first time, and with DePaul having some back issues at this point, he went out there and played well. So same thing with Al Benton. Just that's two examples of what needs to exist if you want to win a lot of games. As the season goes on, you're going to have guys go down. If you get guys go in and are the players of the game for their respective units with first-time starts, then you're in good shape.
When you're off and the other team's playing, is your biggest concern timing and being sharp when they're playing and you're off?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, if there is a concern, but we've played so much ball for the last 2 months. I don't think. What we'll do to combat that is we'll practice today and tomorrow, just like we would any normal game week. And then you start backing off anyway. So we're going to back off. We will practice Sunday where we normally wouldn't practice Sunday. So we'll come back in Sunday and do some full speed stuff Sunday evening to make sure that we're not, our timing's not off at all. But yeah, that's a little bit of a concern anytime you take 2 or 3 days off. But there's a lot of positives that go along with it as well.
Dan, you talked about Sheldon Gibson kind of needing to not try to be the best in the country, be the best that he could be. 2 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. How is his development matched up with your expectations, and what do you think is the next step for him?
just consistency. He's. I was excited to see the play that he made because that's something that I haven't really seen out of him. I haven't seen him catch rough, hard balls. The one he scored on was down at his knees, and then on a post route, he had to come back and catch one behind him. So I was excited to see him make what appears to be non-routine catch for him. Him catching the ball over his shoulder is pretty routine. He still fights it coming back to it, which we saw what happened in the end zone on that one play where he should have had a touchdown there. He just needs to continue to relax and continue to gain comfort and confidence in his ability to be able to make the routine play. So he's on par with what I want to do.
When we go back and watch the defensive film, talk about them not living up to their expectations, was it really execution or effort?
Well, they go hand in hand. If you're not giving maximum effort, then you're not going to execute the way we need to execute. I stood here and talked about how well we tackled 2 weeks ago, and then we turn around and we missed twice as many tackles this next week. That's a mindset. Being locked in and playing with effort. There's a direct correlation in how many missed tackles you have. So we're just a little sluggish for whatever reason. I don't know. We've been a little bit too comfortable. Just a little bit slow and a little bit sluggish. Those guys will be the first to admit that. It went hand in hand to what the entire day was, compared to what it was the previous week. I don't care what the conditions are. I don't care what time of the day it is, whether it's here, whether it's on the road. It doesn't matter. You got to be able to have enough mental toughness to be able to play the same way every week.
It might be too early into your prep. Did you mention you just started it today? Or?
Mm-hmm.
But Maryland's going to play.
Yesterday, I actually worked yesterday, so we watched a bunch of it yesterday.
But they're going to start Maryland's going to start Caleb Rowe, quarterback, over the Hills kid. Does that change anything between those 2 guys?
I don't know as much as Gibby does at this point. I haven't studied it enough to know or talk with him about it. Where normally I obviously would have done that, but everything I've watched was more special teams and defensively with what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. In talking with Tony as far as what Hills did as opposed to Brown from the year before, it was a very similar offense. not quite as explosive because two of their guys are in the NFL. The two receivers that they have that we've had fits with over the last 3 years are in the NFL. It'd be interesting to see this Saturday. It's one benefit that we have that they don't have is we can turn the TV on Saturday at noon and watch the game against South Florida to see where they're headed with this. So I don't know. That Sunday we'll come in, we'll break down that game exclusively to, just like we do each and every week, what the progress is from week 1 to week 2, and then from week 2 to week 3. So we'll be able to figure that out.
How much can they really change in a week's time?
They can't, and they won't with the type of quarterbacks that they have.
Yeah.
They may change a little bit. I doubt they're able to change a whole lot. I don't know what they've changed either. Coach Loxley's been there for 4 years now, so I'm sure they got the same plan now that they've had.
Okay, you mentioned special teams. You'll face one of the best returners in the country. He's on 4. Is your coverage unit where you want it to be? Are they ready for the step?
Yeah, and I'm excited to watch it because we're going to face some pretty good returners throughout the course of the year. And he got us once last year. I think he got us twice. I can't remember, but he's dang good now. He'll take some chances, but we need to rise to the occasion. I don't think we're just going to tell Nick to kick it out of bounds 10 yards downfield. And we may have to go for it a few more times or whatever. But I think we've covered pretty good. Like I said, we faced some NFL caliber return guys in the past, and we need to continue to be able to deal with that. It's part of the game. So I'm happy with our kickoff team right now. I mean, they haven't got it past the 25 this year. We're going to continue to get more speed on that field. We need to get guys like Muldrow and Rasul. Rasul's ready to go now, and Gary Jennings is a guy that's coming along, and Marvin Gross has done good. We'll probably get Funderburk out there. We got some guys that we can put on there to get more speed on the field. That have been covering kicks, and we probably need to do that maybe a little bit more with the punt aspect of it to get more speed on it. But I'm happy with where it's at. I'm happy with the ball placement. We got a true task ahead of us, and it'll be fun to watch that. See how we do.
Are you happy with the reads, shells in that game, or is that an area that you expect?
He needs to. He's trying. He's trying, and I think right now he's trying too hard. He's not. He needs the ball more, because the more he gets it, the more in rhythm he gets, and the stronger he gets. So he needs to perform a little better, and he knows that. And we're going to get him the ball as much as we can. And talking about a guy that was close to a 1,000-yard guy last year, so he's trying hard. He wants to be good. He just probably trying a little bit too hard. He's second guessed himself a little bit, but you can't do that in running back. You got to hit it.
After Saturday's game, Skyler was talking about the 7 read, and he was saying you guys kind of implemented the Iowa State game last year. I guess in the offseason, how big of a focus was it? Wasn't some of you guys, kind of consistently worked on?
Better if you don't keep working on that, you get exposed pretty quick. We've lost yards on a couple of them. We haven't had a tremendous amount of negative plays offensively. Handful of them have been on pulling it when we shouldn't pull it, and handing it when we should have kept it. So that's something you got to work on every day. And we made the decision to do it in the off season. We've worked it hard, and we will continue to work it to where we're efficient with it.
Aside from the speed, what I guess we need a certain kind of quarterback to
hand strength, you know, because there's a handoff aspect to it where that ball's either in there or it's not in there. That's how the ball ends up on the ground a lot if you don't work it. So, you know, we work it a good bit, making good decisions on what the edge looks like. Some of it's on me on what aspect of the play call that I actually call. You know, some of them are naked keeps around the edge. Some of them we have blockers out there for them. So, you know, there's a scheme aspect to it that I got to continue to do a better job with, and then they got to do a better job on when they do, when they don't. And then it's just the day-to-day aspect of working it, and you know, when they keep it in there and when they pull it out of there. So it's been fun. It's been fun for me to learn a lot about it and work it. And it's become pretty valuable. It's helping our backside. I know that.
Dana, I know you were thrilled with the way Dikeel Shores played. Tell me, is he kind of like a security blanket for Skylar Howard, especially the way their chemistry looked on Saturday?
Yeah, that's some of the timing that I've been talking about with Skylar and the new guys, the wideouts and the new guys with Gary and Karan and Javon and Shelton on the outside. It doesn't really exist on the inside, the disconnect, because they've been together here for, I guess, 3 semesters. And, you know, Jordan Thompson's in that same boat. Dikeel's probably playing a little bit better. He's a little bit bigger target right now. But he's playing well. You know, he needs to get more yards after the catch. You know, there are a lot of times he catches it and falls down. So we've been working on him not falling down and running to get more yards after the catch. But he, you know, his routes are good. He's got great ball skills. His blocking ability is really good. He made a lot of blocks on the perimeter, you know, for the run game and the pass game to be able to get yards. So happy with the way he's playing right now.
Overall, is that receiver group pretty good blocking on the outside? I feel like Shelton had a couple of springs out of it.
And he's soft. Like Javon's soft. Gary's big and physical. You know, he brings a little bit of a physical nature to the perimeter, as does Dikeel. I'm not saying that about Javon and Shelton yet. They're trying. They're trying. They need a few more cheeseburgers.
Need to evaluate your offensive line play.
Orlowski played really well last week. You know, here's the player of the game. It's tough for a lineman to get player of the game, isn't it, Wolf?
Yes,
Were you ever player of the game?
Once.
One time? In 4 years? It's hard for an old lineman to get player of the game, just because there's not you know, many opportunities for the spotlight to be on those guys, obviously. But Tyler's what makes us go offensively. He's the smartest guy I've been around up front. He understands the schemes and what we're trying to do. It was funny. I gave him the player of the game because, I mean, we called a bunch of run plays now this last game. We threw a lot of them. But a lot of times he was blocking for nobody. I'm like, geez, I could probably block for nobody because the spotlight's not on you. You know, who knows if you actually did a good job or not. But he's doing really well. Bosch had a better game. Marquise Lucas is playing well. You know, I was kidding. I don't remember who asked the question about Yaime last week. Obviously, I was kidding. He graded out like 95% 2 weeks ago, which was great. Got exposed one time for the first time. He lost his mind and didn't play well for about 2 or 3 plays after that. So that was good for him. You know, they came back and bounced back and played well. So it's coming. The depth isn't what we wanted at this point. You know, we're playing a lot of guys. We're playing a lot of guys because in the fourth quarter we're able to get the 7th guy, the 8th guy, the 9th guy, and the 10th guy in there. Those guys aren't progressing as much as I wanted them to at this point. So our second team guys need to keep coming.
Dana, apart from the outcomes, have you been happy with the way the plays have been called and the decisions Skylar's made, you know, whether to throw a run or to give or keep it when he's inside the red zone?
For the most part, for the most part. You know, there's always going to be some bad decisions. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of times last week where he should have kept it or should have handed it, but I mean, when you have 0.5 seconds to make a decision, you're not going to make the right one all the time, I can promise you. And you know, we're going to keep trying to put him in the best position we can play call wise, but I've said that a bunch too. I mean, I'm not going to, I can assure you it's impossible to call perfect plays all the time too, because you don't know what they're doing defensively. They're going to keep changing that up.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.